Ben and his girlfriend Kelly embarked on a romantic getaway, ignoring the warnings of the locals. Their destination? A quaint rustic cabin nestled on the fringe of the infamous Daggerfall Forest. The locals, with their furrowed brows and weathered faces, had cautioned them. "Don't venture too deep into the woods," they'd said, their voices heavy with the weight of unspoken horror. But Ben and Kelly, fueled by the thrill of their love and the allure of adventure, chose to dismiss these words of caution as mere folklore. The forest welcomed them with open arms. It was a wonderland, dense and lush, the air rich with the sweet fragrance of pine and the soothing lullaby of a distant brook. They strolled hand in hand, their laughter echoing through the trees, their hearts filled with the serenity that only nature can offer. But as they ventured deeper, their laughter faded, replaced by an unsettling silence. The air, once warm and inviting, turned chillingly cold, nipping at their skin through their clothing. The trees, once a comforting canopy, now loomed above them, their branches gnarled and grotesque, casting eerie shadows that danced and flickered with the wind. The forest seemed to transform before their eyes, its beauty giving way to an ominous landscape. Ben and Kelly looked at each other, their faces paling under the weight of an unspoken fear. They had dismissed the locals' warnings, but now they were beginning to understand. "Do you smell that?" Kelly asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Ben nodded silently, his jaw clenched tight. The sweet scent of pine had vanished, replaced by a metallic tang that hung heavy in the air. It was a smell they recognized but wished they didn't. A smell that sent shivers down their spines and quickened their heartbeats. The scent of pine was replaced by something more metallic, something that smelled like blood. "Do you smell that?" Kelly asked, her voice shaky. Her question hung in the air, a chilling spectre that sent shivers down Ben's spine. He nodded, his eyes darting around the dense forest that had, until moments ago, seemed so inviting. An unsettling scent had replaced the comforting aroma of pine. It was something metallic, a smell that reminded them of blood. A wave of fear washed over them as they realized the path they had followed into the forest had vanished, swallowed by the gnarled trees and thick undergrowth. They were lost, stranded in the heart of the Daggerfall Forest. The locals' warnings echoed in their minds, adding to the growing sense of dread. They had ventured too deep into the woods, and now they were paying the price. As they turned in circles searching for a way out, the air around them grew cold. An oppressive silence fell, thick and heavy, like a cloak. It was a silence that seemed to amplify every small sound, every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig. It was a silence that was unnatural, eerie, and it sent a chill down their spines. But then, faintly, they heard something else. It was a sound that seemed out of place in the quiet forest, a rhythmic chant carried on the wind. It was a chant that was foreign, ancient, and it filled their hearts with dread. They listened, frozen in place as the chant grew louder, joined by the steady thud of drums. It was a sound that seemed to come from all directions, a sound that was getting closer. Suddenly, the forest didn't feel so silent anymore. The chanting, the drums, it was all they could hear. It drowned out the sound of their own breathing, the sound of their hearts pounding in their chests. They were no longer alone in the forest. There was something else out there. Something hidden in the shadows, something terrifying. The air was thick with an oppressive silence, broken only by the faint sound of chanting in the distance. The chanting grew louder, accompanied by the steady thud of drums. The forest was alive with a malevolent energy, the air thick with an ancient primal fear. Ben and Kelly could feel their hearts pounding in sync with the rhythm of the drums, a terrifying soundtrack to a chase they never imagined they'd be part of. The shadowy figures seemed to be everywhere, flitting between the trees, their bone masks glinting ominously. They were the hunters and Ben and Kelly the prey. The couple ran, their breaths ragged and harsh in the chilling silence of the forest. The undergrowth whipped at their legs, the branches clawed at their clothes, but they dared not slow down. The figures were closing in, their guttural voices resonating through the woods, echoing the ancient chant that filled the air. It was a language they couldn't understand, but the message was clear. They were not welcome here. This was a sacred chase, a ritual as old as the forest itself, and they were the unwilling participants. Fear fueled their flight, each rustle of leaves, each snap of a twig, driving them deeper into the forest. The trees loomed taller, the path before them a twisted labyrinth they could not decipher. But they had no choice. They had to keep running. They had to survive. Their lungs screamed for air, their legs ached with exhaustion, but the steady thud of the drums spurred them on. It was a haunting rhythm, a heartbeat that echoed their own, a relentless reminder of the danger at their heels. Have you ever found yourself hopelessly lost in the woods? A chill descends as the memory of Ben and Kelly's terrifying encounter lingers in the air. The echo of their frantic footsteps and the haunting chant of the cloaked figures still ring in our ears. It's a grim reminder of the hidden perils that lie behind the serenity of nature, of the ancient tribes that thrive in the shadows, their rituals as old as time itself. The woods, while a place of beauty, can also be a labyrinth of terror for the unwary. The tall trees and lush greenery can quickly turn into a maze, hiding secrets that are better left undiscovered. So next time you venture into the woods, tread lightly, stay vigilant, and remember Ben and Kelly's bone-chilling tale. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe and follow us for more. Join us on TikTok and YouTube for more bone-chilling chronicles, if you dare.